Most people think investing is about picking the right stocks. It isn't. Two people can buy the exact same index fund and end up with dramatically different results simply because they put their money into the wrong accounts in the wrong order. The account sequence determines how much of your growth you actually keep, and almost nobody explains that part. I learned this the hard way. Debt gone, emergency fund built, a few $100s left over every month, and I sat there staring at it for months doing nothing. Not because I was lazy, because nobody had ever told me where it was supposed to go. That's the gap nobody talks about. You grind your way to financial stability and then hit a wall of silence. This video closes that gap. By the end of it, you'll know the exact 4-account sequence and the math behind why that order matters more than any stock pick or strategy you'll ever hear about. Here's where most people get it wrong before they even start. They spend weeks researching which ETF to buy while ignoring an employer match that's worth thousands of dollars in free money sitting right there in their benefits package. The biggest investing mistake isn't buying the wrong investment, it's putting your money in the wrong account. So let's go through the sequence. Step 1 is your employer's 401k, but only up to the match. If your employer matches your contributions up to a certain percentage of your salary, that match is the single best return available to any working person in this country. Imagine your employer offered to hand you $3 extra every time you put in 6. That's exactly what the match is, a guaranteed, immediate return that the market cannot touch. Not contributing enough to capture it fully is the equivalent of leaving part of your paycheck uncashed every 2 weeks. Step 1 is simple. Find out what your employer matches and contribute exactly that amount. Not $1 more yet, just enough to collect every dollar they're offering. Drop your number in the comments. 1 if you're still building your emergency fund, 2 if you're getting the employer match, 3 if you're funding a Roth IRA, 4 if you're investing beyond that. No wrong answer. I'm just curious where people in this community actually are. Step 2 is the Roth IRA. And this is where it gets especially powerful for working class investors early in their careers. A Roth IRA is funded with money you've already paid taxes on. The money grows inside the account, and when you pull it out in retirement, you pay 0 taxes on any of it. Not on the contributions, not on decades of growth. 0. The IRS caps how much you can put in each year, so check the current limit, but this account becomes your priority once the employer match is captured. Here's why it matters at a working class income specifically. For many people early in their careers, today's tax rate may be lower than the rate they'll face later after years of compounding have built a much larger balance. Paying taxes now on a smaller amount instead of paying later on a much larger one is often a smart trade. The Roth also eliminates future taxes on qualified withdrawals entirely, which gives you flexibility that traditional accounts can't match. Open it at a low-cost brokerage, put it in a simple index fund that tracks the broad market, set up automatic contributions, and leave it alone. Step 3 is going back to your 401k and contributing beyond the match. Once the Roth IRA is maxed for the year, redirect additional dollars back into the 401k. This account reduces your taxable income today, the opposite trade from the Roth. You get the tax benefit now instead of in retirement. Both approaches have real value, which is why the sequence uses both in order based on where your dollar goes furthest first. The 401k also carries a much higher annual contribution limit than the Roth, so there's significant capacity here before you need to think about anything else. Quick question before step 4. If you had an extra $500 this month, where would it go right now? Most people answer that wrong, not because they're bad with money, but because nobody laid out the order. Step 4 is the taxable brokerage account. For most working class investors, you may never get here, and that's not a failure. It means the first 3 steps are doing serious work. A taxable brokerage is a regular investment account with no special tax treatment. You pay taxes on gains as they happen, but you can access the money anytime without penalties. It goes last because it doesn't carry the advantages of the other accounts. If you've captured the full employer match, maxed the Roth, and maxed the 401k, and still have money to invest, this is where the overflow goes. Same strategy throughout. Low-cost index funds, long time horizon, consistent contributions. Here's the sequence one final time. Match, Roth IRA, back to the 401k, brokerage account. That's it. No complexity, no tricks, just the logical order based on where your dollar does the most work and why. Start with the next step in front of you this week. Even a small amount in the right account in the right order beats a large amount going nowhere.
Which step are you on? Drop the number below.
See you in the next one. Let's build some wealth.